We're going to start doing a little different. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. I think it's fair to say that most people want to move forward in life. You want to be doing better this year than you were last year. And next year, you're going to be doing better than you're doing now. It's a fair statement to make. To do that, you got to have a goal. To have a goal, you got to have a plan. And a plan is another word for budget, which I know is an ugly word, but it's important. Because if you don't have a budget, I guarantee you'll lose money. When I was in the branches, I say branch when I was working in the retail branches, I used to deal with customers all the time. And I love working with customers because everybody can tell you something great that you can learn from. And I had a customer one time, I would ask everyone about money. I didn't care if you had 50 cents in your account or if you had $50 million in your account. I would just, because I was the bank guy, I would chop it up about money. Like, hey, what could you tell somebody? What's some lessons you learned? And I would kind of take little nuggets of wisdom from each person. And I had a customer tell me, if you're bad with $100, you'll be worse with 100 grand. It really resonated with me. So talking to her, yes, it was a lady. She was an attorney. She was doing very well for us. And she said, if you're bad with $100, you'll be worse with 100,000. And just speaking to her, it's really eloquently said. She was like, well, yeah, it's something that she had to learn the hard way. When you have a little bit of money, you make mistakes. You make small mistakes. When you have a lot of money, you make mistakes. You make the same mistakes. You're just bigger, more expensive. She said one of the hardest things for her was learning to budget. And I thought about it, and I kind of had a budget, but I didn't. And that night I went home, and I procrastinated. And 2 weeks later, I did make myself a budget. And I kept trying to find one that was useful, that I could stick to, that was simple. And I came across one, and it was a 5-30-20 budget. And I like it because it was simple, and I kind of do like what they call back of the napkin math. And I said, all right, I got, my check this week was, I'm using round dollars, was like $1,000. All right, so half of that is just for me to live. 30% is going to be for the stuff that I want, like new games, computer parts, and 20% is for tomorrow. But it's the 50-30-20 rule. And to break it down quite simply, it's when you look at the money coming in after taxes, because we don't count taxes because that money is going before you get it anyway. You got to pay taxes. But you look at the money coming in with your net income. That's what net means. It's just after taxes. And you say, all right, half of this money is for things I need. That'd be like the rent/mortgage. That'd be the car note. That'd be food. That'd be the light bill. The cable. Cable's not really something you need, but the internet is kind of considered a necessity. But 50% is just going to be the stuff you need. Things that without you would cease to live. Now, how you think about needs, or the way I was thought about it was, if I don't have this thing, I'm going to die. If I don't have a roof over my head, I live in the Northeast, I'm going to freeze to death, I'm going to die. If I don't have food, I'm going to starve. And so on and so forth. You need water, you need shelter. So I've had this argument with friends of mine. I was like, man, I need them wheels. You don't need rims. You don't need video games. You know what I'm saying? You don't need cable. You'll be bored, but you won't die. So half of your income has to go toward things you need. The next biggest chunk is 30%, things you want. I was like, the rims, I was talking to my friend, the rims you want, that's something you want. Cable is something you want. But wants are the things that make life easy to endure, things that make life living. Like air conditioning is a want. You don't need air conditioning. You want air conditioning. You don't need video games. You want video games. You don't need a haircut. Well, sometimes you get to a point you do need a haircut. For the ladies, you don't need your nails done. You want your nails done. You may not need new earrings. You want new earrings. They're you may not need new clothes. You want new clothes. And even now, when I got in a debate, they were like, what if I gain weight or lose weight? Whatever. But you get what I'm getting at. Half your paycheck is things you need. 30% is things you want. 20% is for tomorrow, or the future, is what I was explaining to me. So this way you're thinking, all right, if I got $1,000 after taxes, $500 is going to cover my bills, $300 I could blow on fun stuff like going out to, dinner, out to eat. Going out to eat is something you want. You don't need to go out to eat. You can eat at home for cheap. And then 20% is tomorrow. So that's your 401k, your retirement account, saving to buy a house, putting it toward investments, 20%. Most people are not following that. And if you write down what your money goes to, just track it for a month, just a month. Most people get paid like twice a month. All I'm saying is keep track. All I'm saying is keep track of just 2 checks, just 2, and see where your money's going. All right, for this month, for the month I brought in $3,000. Did half of it go toward needs? Did 30% go toward wants? And 20% toward tomorrow? That's real simple and easy to do. Just taking all right, this much went to bills. And what I find is the less money you make, the easier it is to keep track of. But if you're bad with $100, you're worse with $100,000. So if you can't keep track of 20, 30, 40,000, I know everybody aspires to make more money. If you got bad habits with 20 G's, you're going to have worse habits with 100,000. If you can't determine what's a need versus a want with a small amount of money, you'll be worse at it with a large amount of money. You need a budget. You need some visibility into where your money's going, because if you don't know where it's going, that's a problem. If you're thinking about this, like, yeah, I kind of know where it is, just write it down. Get you a piece of paper and a pen, and all right, here's my paycheck, and actually physically write it out. I find taking things and giving them physical form and actually writing it down has a massive impact on how you feel about it. So just write down, all right, my check was this and it was this. And you may find that your needs are like 80% of your check. If that happens, cool. That means you got to dial back the wants and think about, like, you got to start making some adjustments. All right, can I make more money doing this? Can I cut this expense down? And you'll start to find that when you look at what's going where, what's the need versus the want changes very quickly when you're looking at that pie chart and you're thinking, like, what am I taking away from? Because every dollar you take away from tomorrow is going to hurt you in the long run, because you're working now. You're making money now. You're doing your thing. When you retire, you're not working. Your income falls off a cliff. So you want all your major purchases covered by that. So if you own a home, you want to pay it off. Now, if you don't, because the housing market right now is an absolute trash fire, I get it. I fully understand. And if y'all want to see something about buying a house, let me know, because I can make a video on that, because there are surprisingly a lot of ways to get into a home, as long as you, even with like little to no money down. Now, I don't mean that no money down, house wholesale, none of that get rich quick crap, because most of that stuff is either illegal or hustle anyway. But if you're talking about actually buying a home for yourself, I can go over that process, soup the nuts. Y'all let me know what y'all want. Just leave it down in the comments, and I'll go over that. I read speaking of comments, I know I'm all over the place. This is about budgeting, but this is important. I read every single comment to every single video. I don't have that many subscribers. It's like 100 and some change right now. I think it's 160, like 167. I read every comment, usually the day you put it up or within 24 hours. And if I'm not working, I'm responding within 24 hours. So if y'all want to see something, or if there's something I can do different or better, let me know in the comments, and I'll definitely read it and I'll respond to it. I'm one of the few people y'all have a direct line, so y'all can tell me what's happening, like what y'all want to see different, or how it is that I can help you. But getting back on point, step 1, you need a budget. Step 2, the easiest budget that I would recommend is the 50-30-20, and then seeing where your money's going. And you may have some uncomfortable conversation like, yo, needs is like 90% of my paycheck. So is there a way for me to reduce my needs? Is there a way for me to make more money? But understanding where you stand is going to help you. It's like, all right, I'll just make more money. If you don't know where your money's going now, you won't know where it's going later. So you got to get a handle on where it's going. Because then if you'll make more money, you're like, man, I made more money. I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. I've met people while working in a retail locations who make 6 figures. And I don't mean like 100. I mean like $152,000, $300,000 a year, and live paycheck to paycheck. It happens because they were just horrible. They didn't have a budget. It was like, we both make good money, but we never seem to get ahead. I was like, y'all make well into the 6-figure range. And it was, well, this goes to this and this goes to this. And we wrote it down. I was like, wow. It was, needless to say, if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. That's just what it is. Hopefully you found the video useful. If you did, leave me a like. Appreciate it. Every single like helps. If there's something you want to see me do differently, or if you found a video helpful, or you just want to say hi, because all that stuff helps the YouTube algorithm, leave it in the comments below. Appreciate you. If you like me or what I'm doing, or you want to help support somebody who's just kind of be honest and be a good YouTuber, if that's a thing, subscribe to the video. Jeez, I don't even have a like, comment, subscribe, that whole shebang bang. I've had this channel for too long. But anyway, Thank you. I appreciate y'all. And one day at a time, little by little, we will make progress toward our goals. But today's video was about setting a goal, setting a target, and developing a plan to get there. You need a plan. You need a budget. And the 50-30-20 rule is a really easy budget to follow. If you have any feedback about it, leave it in the comments below. Y'all take it easy, man.